Dear students, welcome to our session for today. English course 101, New Language Leader Level 1, first semester, Unit 5, Natural World, Lesson number 1, Islands. So what are our objectives for today? By the end of the lesson, you will be able to identify vocabulary, particularly adjectives to describe landscapes, read for gist and specific information, revise comparatives and superlatives, and extend with the not as structure. And the last thing is to write a paragraph about an island and describe it. Before we look at our first objective, think about these questions. Do you like nature? Have you ever visited an island? If yes, what is it? Can you describe it in words? Which island would you like to visit? You can think and discuss these questions in the chat box for 1 minute. Okay, dear students, now let's look at our first objective. Match the words in the box below with their corresponding adjectives in the table. For example, sandy beach. If you look at the box, we've got the names or the nouns, names of landscapes that we had last time. We want to correspond them with the suitable adjectives. So you've got 4 minutes to do this exercise. Notice that one adjective may go with more than one noun. Okay, dear students, now we're going to look at the answers. Here are some possible answers. For the adjective cold, you can use these nouns: lake, sea, and river. Deep, lake, river, or sea. High, cliff, hill, mountain, peak, rock, and wave. Long, beach, coast, island, lagoon, lake, and river. Sandy beach or sandy coast. Steep cliff, hill, mountain, peak, rock, and wave. Tropical beach, forest, island, lagoon, and sea. And warm lagoon, lake, sand, and sea. Now, we're going to look at a text about Riviera Maya, a tropical island in Mexico. Let's read together. Riviera Maya, Mexico, is one of the most attractive islands in the world. Thanks to its crystal clear blue waters and glistening sandy white beaches that drape the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. The island is famous for its large-scale resorts and a historical tourism base of smaller boutique hotels, as well as the many fine dining restaurants available along the FED 317 or 307 and on or near the beaches. Luxury travel entities have been instrumental in increasing luxury villa rentals and yacht charters in the area. However, these only represent a small fraction of the total tourism accommodation available. Major attractions throughout the Riviera Maya are coastal and reef aquatic activities, which are dependent on the coastal water and the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef System. This barrier reef system is the second longest in the world. Activities at the most visited locations including jet skiing, snorkeling, scuba diving, swimming with dolphins, zip lining, horse riding, sailing, and guided jungle tours. Archaeology is also a big tourist draw in the area, including the popular archaeological sites operated by the Instituto Nacional de Arqueológico, such as Tolem on the coast. Some might find archaeology more interesting than any other activities on the island. Now, read the text again in 3 minutes. Okay, dear students, now we'll look at some sentences which we are going to decide, are they true or false? You've got 2 minutes to read these sentences and try to find out whether they are true or false. Okay, dear students, check your answers. Number 1, Riviera Maya Island is famous for its clear water and sandy beaches. This is true. Number 2, the island is located in the United States of America. That's of course false. Number 3, there are few places where you can stay during your visit to the island. This is false because the places are not few. Number 4, most of the activities that you can enjoy on the island are water activities. And that's also true. Now, we'll go to our third objective about grammar. Go back to the reading text and find sentences with comparative adjectives and sentences with superlative adjectives. We'll look back at the text and you're going to find out some of these adjectives. You've got 4 minutes to do this. Okay, dear students, let's check your answers. Sentences with comparative adjectives. Some might find archaeology more interesting than any other activities on the island. Sentences with superlative adjectives. Riviera Maya, Mexico, is one of the most attractive islands in the world. And this barrier reef system is the second longest in the world. Now, what is a comparative and what is a superlative? And how do we form the comparative and superlative? First, let's look at comparative adjectives. When we compare two things, we compare the similarities or differences. We can use comparative adjectives to describe the differences. Remember, we use comparative adjectives when talking about two things, not three or more things. Often, a comparative adjective is followed by than. Example, Sally is older than Susan. There are two ways to make or to form a comparative adjective. The short adjectives we add er. The long adjectives we use more. We use as plus adjective plus as to show that two people or two things are similar in some way. Example, the black skirt is as beautiful as the blue one. We use not as plus adjective plus as in negative sentences to show inequality. Example, the yellow car is not as fast as the red one. However, there are some exceptions. The following adjectives have irregular forms. For the word good, we use better. For the word well, when it's used as healthy, it is better. For the word or adjective bad, it is worse. For the word far, it can be farther or further. What about superlative adjectives? A superlative adjective expresses the extreme or highest degree of a quality. We use a superlative adjective to describe the extreme quality of one thing in a group of things. We can use superlative adjective when talking about three or more things, not two things. There are two ways to form a superlative adjective. With short adjectives, we add est. With long adjectives, we use most. So, With some two-syllable adjectives, we can use est or most. For the word quiet, we can say the quietest or most quiet. Clever as well, narrow, and simple. Both ways are acceptable. However, there are exceptions. The following adjectives have irregular forms. The word good, it is the best. For bad, it's the worst. For far, it's the farthest or the furthest. Now, look at the formation of comparatives and superlatives form for adjectives and adverbs. You can look at the tables and study them carefully. You've got 3 minutes to look at these tables. Okay, dear students, now let's look at this exercise. Complete the following sentences with the comparative or superlative using the adjectives between brackets. You've got 4 minutes to do this exercise. Okay, dear students, let's not forget to sorry, let's not forget to tell you about excellent students. مصطفى موسى سلمان، سفيان منصور، تركي عبد الله يوسف، محمود عادل محمد، علي مختار منصور، عمر مجدي محمد، زياد محمد محمود، عبد الرحمن أحمد جميل، محمد جاسم حسين، فارس طارق، محمد عبد الله حسن, and Muhammad Ala Fathi. Thank you for your positive participation. And remember, these are only a small number of all of you who are good and participating very well. Now, let's look at the model answers. Number 1, the Pacific Ocean is deeper than the Atlantic Ocean. Number 2, Greenland is the biggest island in the world. Number 3, Paris is the most popular tourist destination in Europe. Number 4, the weather in Spain is the best weather in England. Number 5, Mount Everest is the highest mountain in the world. Number 6, when we travel, my suitcase is always heavier than my brother's. Number 7, January is the coldest month of the year. Number 8, December 21st is the shortest day of the year. It is shorter than any other day. Number 9, this book is more interesting than the one I read last week. And number 10, this is the worst movie I have ever seen. Okay, let's ask an extra question for excellent students. In these 10 sentences, there is one incorrect sentence. Can you find it out? You can write the number of the sentence in the chat box. Okay, for number 4, weather in Spain is better than weather in England. If you remember, when we explained the comparative form or the comparative adjectives, we said between two things or two people or two countries. In number 4, we have Spain and England, and we are going to compare between these two countries or the weather in these two countries. So we should say the weather in Spain is better than the weather in England. Now, think of 3 towns or villages in your country. Write sentences comparing them. Use adjectives form from the box below. You've got 4 minutes to write this exercise. Okay, dear students, let's look at some possible answers. Manama is more impressive than the other cities with its splendid high-rise building. I think Isa town is the most popular town in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Living in Manama is more expensive than living in Muharraq. Now, dear students, let's look at our last activity for today. Think of an island you know. Write a paragraph describing it. Use the notes below to help you write. You can talk about location, accommodation, activities, and places to visit. Try to write a short paragraph in 4 minutes. Okay, dear students, let's look at a model of a paragraph. This is a model answer about Hawar Islands. You can write it or screenshot this paragraph so that you study it later. This is the end of our session today. Thank you very much for your attention. Don't forget to do the form and the questionnaire for this session. Thank you very much and see you next time.